The words echoed in my mind long after she said them. She needs her real father. I never imagined those words would carve a wound so deep, one that would bleed into everything I thought I knew about love, trust, and who I truly was. The house was quiet when she left, a soft, almost delicate silence that filled every corner as I stood by the window watching her drive away with our daughter. I didn't argue when she told me they were going to spend time with her ex. I didn't fight her decision. In the years before she left, I was the man who always stayed behind, the one who gave up so much for the life we built. But when they came back, I wasn't the same man anymore. It was as if in those few weeks I had become a stranger to myself. The house feels still, the kind of stillness that fills the air not with silence but with a kind of weight, like a room that's waiting for something to happen but doesn't quite know what. The kitchen light is on, though it hasn't been used. It's just a hum of light that doesn't feel needed. It flickers now and again, almost as if the house itself is unsure of its place in this new quiet. I'm sitting in the same chair where we used to laugh. The leather creaks a little under my weight, and I hear it, the familiar sound. It should feel comfortable, but it doesn't. It feels wrong now. Con cat. I look over at the corner, where our daughter's toys used to scatter across the floor. There's still a small blue truck under the table, half buried in dust. It hasn't moved in days. Her absence isn't loud. It's not the kind of emptiness that screams. No, it's a quiet thing, a heavy thing that hangs in the corners, in the places where sunlight used to fall when she would laugh and chase our daughter around the house. I feel that space in my chest where her voice used to be, like the gap between the walls, thick and hollow. I never imagined this would be the feeling, this emptiness, not the shouting or the drama, but the quiet that follows when the pieces are moved and nothing fits together anymore. I pick up the remote and turn on the TV, though I don't watch it, just the flicker of the screen. The room is too quiet for a show, too full of things that aren't being said. I let the white noise fill the space instead. The words she said before leaving echo, though. I hear them in the back of my mind, in the quiet between the whir of the television. She needs her real father. I can't escape them. They sit there, heavy in the air like smoke. And I didn't argue when she said it. I didn't fight. Not because I didn't want to, but because there was no space to fight. It was just a thing she said, and I heard it and I let it pass. It wasn't anger in her voice. It was just a truth she'd given up on. Was it a test? The question hangs there, quiet but loud in its own way. Did she mean it? Was she trying to see if I would protest, to see if I cared enough to raise my voice? Or was it just something that slipped out, like a word that's been held too long? I don't know anymore. I glance over at the door, the one she walked out of, the one that hasn't felt the same since. The handle's still warm from her touch, but it's cold now. There's a lingering piece of her in the house, in the space where her scent used to linger, but it's been replaced. The house doesn't smell like us anymore. It smells like nothing. I wonder if she knows what she left behind. I wonder if she feels this empty space too, or if she's already filled it with whatever she's searching for. Did she know the weight of those words? I set the remote down, let it fall softly onto the coffee table. The soft thud echoes in the silence. I haven't moved from the spot for hours. The light outside has dimmed to a quiet gray, and the air feels thick, like it's waiting for something. A few months ago, the room was full of her laughter, full of us, full of the noise that fills a house when you're living in it. But now it's just this. I wonder, with a strange heaviness in my chest, if I'm the only one feeling it. If it's only me who feels the weight of the empty spaces where she used to be. And what kind of man would I be when they came back? I try to imagine the answer. But the longer I sit here, the harder it is to find any answer at all. The chair creaks again as I shift, but it doesn't feel like the right shift. It feels like I'm trying to force something that isn't there anymore. I let out a quiet breath, watch the way the dust in the room shifts with the faint breeze from the cracked window. The smell of the old house lingers in the air, the same as it's always been, but it's different now. It's older. I remember the first time she asked me to help her unpack after we moved in. She couldn't stop laughing. I remember the sunlight spilling through the kitchen windows, the smell of fresh bread baking, the sound of our daughter playing in the next room. Everything was so full, so heavy with life. But that was then, before I realized how quietly everything could unravel. The phone rings and I jump. The sudden noise makes the silence in the house feel even louder. I let it ring out, watching the screen light up. The name doesn't matter. I don't answer. I don't want to talk, not now. I look over at the small blue truck again, half hidden under the table. It's the only thing in this room that's still untouched, still alive in its own way. It's a silly thought, I know, but it's there, just waiting for something, for us to fill the space again. But there's no one here, just me and this quiet. The phone rings again. This time I answer. The voice on the other end is too far away to reach me. I let them talk, listening to the words float through the air, but nothing sticks. The words aren't for me. They don't mean anything. Okay, I look at the door again, and the question hangs heavy. What kind of man will I be when they come back? And maybe the real question is, what kind of man can I be now? I put the phone down. There's no more talking. I stand up slowly, the floor creaking beneath my weight as I make my way to the window. The sky outside is streaked with the colors of the setting sun. I wonder if they'll come back. If they'll come back, and if the silence in this house will finally end. But for now, it's just me and the dust, and the quiet waiting. The phone rings sharp and sudden in the silence. I blink, disoriented, trying to pull myself from a dream I can't quite remember. The glow of the screen cuts through the dark room like a small, intrusive flame. I reach for it without thinking. My fingers fumble for a moment before I press the button. The world around me is still. The only sound is the faint hum of the refrigerator down the hall. Hello? My voice is thick, heavy with sleep. It takes a moment to remember how to speak. Manab way, Yekanat. Her voice comes through the phone, flat, distant. It carries the coolness of someone who's miles away, not just in distance, but in the space between us. Hi, she says. We're doing fine. Just wanted to check in. The words sound like she's reading from a script. There's no warmth, no real life in them. The line crackles faintly, as though her voice is drifting in from somewhere far off. She tells me they're having a great time, that our daughter is laughing, enjoying herself. I don't say much. I never do. I just listen, holding the phone to my ear, feeling the coldness of the night creep through the walls. The silence stretches between her words. I hear the sound of waves crashing in the background. Distant, rhythmic, feels out of place somehow. I wonder if I'm hearing what I want to hear, or if she's already found the answer she was searching for. Is everything okay? I ask, the words escaping before I can stop them. She pauses just for a moment. Yeah, everything's fine. I can tell she's lying, but I don't press her. I can't. The sound of the waves keeps echoing, distant and hollow. It doesn't match the warmth of our old life, the life we used to have. The faintest sigh slips through her voice. It's so quiet, so brief, I almost miss it. I think about what she said before she left. She needs her real father. I didn't argue then. Didn't say anything, just nodded, let the words sink into the space between us. I wonder, again, what that really meant. Was I never enough? Did she see something I couldn't? Or had I just been blind to everything that was falling apart? And I close my eyes, trying to hold on to the sound of her voice. But it slips away like sand through my fingers. The distance between us feels wider now, something more than just physical. It feels like it's in the air, something that's become too large to ignore. Another pause. The silence seems louder this time, filling the room. I can't hear her breathing, just the waves crashing on the shore far away. Yo, it's been a nice break, she says, her words flat, as if she's measuring them carefully before speaking. You should take some time for yourself, too. I don't know how to answer that. Take time for myself. How could I? The time was already taken. The space in the house where she used to be now feels too big to fill. The silence between us feels like a place I can't reach. I don't respond immediately. The phone feels too heavy in my hand. When I finally speak, my voice is quieter than I mean for it to be. I don't know if I'll ever get used to this, I say. The words hang in the air for a moment, but she doesn't respond. Another pause, a long one this time. I need to go, she says, her voice sounding even more distant, but I'll call you again soon. I nod, even though I know she can't see me. Can I hear the soft click as the call ends, but it doesn't feel final. The line between us feels thinner now. The last words she said echo in the silence. I'll call you again soon. Trif teen teet hem 900 I sit there for a long moment, holding the phone in my hand, not sure what to do with it. The house feels even emptier now, quieter somehow. I wonder how many more nights I'll spend listening to that same quiet, trying to fill the space between us. I place the phone back on the table and stand. I walk to the window and look out. And the moon is bright tonight, casting long shadows across the yard. The night feels thick, heavy with the things left unsaid. I wonder what she's seeing right now. Is she seeing the same moon, the same sky? Or is she too far away to feel the pull of it? Can I take a deep breath, trying to shake the coldness that's settled into my bones? But it doesn't go away. It's there, in the silence, in the space where her voice used to be. I look at the clock. It's almost 2 in the morning. It's too late to sleep now. The quiet is too loud. The house is too full of things that aren't being said. I turn off the light by the door and walk down the hall to the bedroom. I lie in bed, but sleep doesn't come. The space beside me feels too wide, too empty. and I can't help but think that she's already filled it with something I can't see, something that doesn't have room for me anymore. The sound of the waves crashes again in my mind, distant and hollow, like it belongs to someone else's life. And I wonder if I listen long enough, if I'll hear the answer that's been waiting for me. But all I hear is silence. I lie in the dark, the quiet around me stretching longer than I expected. Her voice lingers in the back of my mind, soft, distant, and I wonder once more what kind of man I'll be when they come back. But as the night settles, I know something has already shifted, something I can't take back. What kind of man will I be now? The house feels lighter in some ways, but heavier in others. The quiet is thick, like the air before a storm. I pass by the mantel, where pictures used to line the shelf. Some of the frames are turned slightly, not quite facing forward. They've all been like this for days now. I don't know why I haven't fixed them. It's like a part of me is still waiting for someone to come along and move them back. I reach up, my fingers brushing against the frame of our wedding photo. The glass is cool under my touch, but it doesn't bring warmth. The smile on my face, on hers, it feels distant now, like those people don't belong to me anymore. I set the photo back down gently, as though the weight of that smile might shatter the silence around me. The house seems full of these small, heavy things, the empty chair at the dining table, the half-closed door to the guest room. Everything is just empty, and no matter how hard I try to fill the spaces, they seem to multiply. The bedroom is the hardest room to face. The bed feels like an island in the middle of a vast, empty ocean. There's only the imprint of a body where she used to lie, but even that is slowly fading away. The sheets still smell faintly of her perfume, not enough to remind me of her fully, but just enough to make the silence feel deeper. I walk around the house slowly, touching the things we once shared. A coffee cup on the counter, a towel left on the bathroom floor, the throw blanket on the couch. These little remnants are all I have left now, all I have to remind myself that they were ever here. But it's not enough. I try to find comfort in them, but the more I touch, the more I realize how small they are, how insignificant. The house feels like a shrine to something that no longer exists. I bury myself in work. The work isn't important, but it's something to do, something to fill the hours. The days pass in a haze, a dreamlike blur where I'm moving, but not really going anywhere. It's like walking underwater, slow, exhausting, and yet somehow still incomplete. The phone on the counter never rings. I check it more than I should. There's no message from her, no call, nothing. I wonder if she's forgetting, or if she's so far away she can't hear me. Maybe she's found someone else to talk to, someone who fills the silence for her. I keep hoping for a message, I keep looking, but it's always the same, empty, a silent, cruel reminder of how much space there is between us. I remember the night she left, how she didn't even look back as she walked out the door. One yol the mind, at spat the ron trace, the needs her real father. The words she said, she needs her real father, still echo in my mind, though I don't know why. It was a parting shot, wasn't it? A way for her to walk away with no guilt, no hesitation. I wonder what she's doing now. Does she even think of me? Does she know how empty this house feels without her? The silence is louder now than it was when she first left. It has a weight to it. I walk around looking for something to hold on to, something to keep me grounded, but everything feels like it's slipping away. Even the things I thought were solid, the things I thought I could rely on, have started to feel like relics. The work doesn't fill the void. It doesn't make me feel whole again. I try to busy my hands, to keep moving, to keep doing, but there's no use. I can't escape the quiet. I walk back into the living room. The light from the window casts long shadows across the floor. It's late afternoon now, and I've lost track of the time again. The clock on the wall ticks quietly, but it's almost like it's mocking me. The ticking seems louder than usual, each second dragging on endlessly, stretching into the next. I check my phone again. Another missed call, but it's from work. I set it down again, my hand lingering on the screen. I wonder what she's doing. Is she thinking of me? Is she happy? I know it's foolish to think she's missing me, to think that maybe, just maybe, she regrets walking away. But the thought lingers in the back of my mind, a flickering flame that refuses to be extinguished. I walk out the door and onto the porch. The air is cooler now, and the wind stirs the leaves in the trees. I watch them dance in the light, moving in a rhythm I used to recognize. But now it all feels strange. Even the air feels different, as though the world around me is shifting too. I don't know who I am anymore. The man I used to be is slipping away with each passing day. I wonder how much longer I can keep doing this. How much longer I can keep pretending like I'm okay, like I'm moving forward, when everything feels like it's slowly falling apart. Okay, the quiet in the house is a constant reminder that something's missing. I didn't realize how much of myself I had poured into her, into the life we built together. Now that she's gone, I don't know who I am without her. Okay. I look out at the horizon, the sky stretching in front of me. The silence is so thick it feels like it could swallow me whole. I don't know if I'll ever fill this space. I don't know if I'll ever be whole again. But as the sun begins to dip below the trees, I realize that I've been trying to find answers in places that don't hold them. The answers won't come from her. They won't come from the house. They can only come from me. I stand there, the wind brushing against my skin, the quiet pressing in around me. And for the first time since she left, I wonder if maybe it's time to stop waiting. What if the only thing I'm waiting for is myself? I turn back toward the house, the door creaking softly as I push it open. The silence inside isn't as loud anymore, but it still hangs in the air, thick and heavy. I wonder how much longer it will take before I learn to fill it with something else. Maybe tomorrow I'll begin again. The letter sits there on the kitchen counter. I had noticed it when it first arrived, sitting beside the stack of bills, its envelope crisp, pristine, untouched. I couldn't bring myself to open it right away. The edges of the envelope were too sharp, the handwriting too familiar, too full of things I wasn't ready to face. I glance at it now, the pale blue ink still vivid against the white envelope. Her handwriting clean, steady, as it always was. The way she wrote was almost a map of her calm, methodical nature, every curve and line in place. Kang. I run my fingers over it gently, as if touching the paper would give me something I've lost. I pick it up slowly. The weight of it in my hand feels heavier than it should, almost as if it contains more than just words. The room around me feels silent, but the silence has changed. It feels thick now, suffocating, like the walls are closing in. I hesitate. But there's no real reason to wait anymore. Not to wait anymore. I tear the seal, careful not to rip the edges, and unfold the letter. The familiar smell of paper, the faintest trace of her perfume. It's as if she's here with me for a second, but only just. I begin reading, the words flowing across the page with her usual calmness, but something is off. I feel the weight of her words pressing in on me. I hope you're doing well. We're having a wonderful time here. I can see how much our daughter is thriving in this space. She's so happy. I know she needs this time with her real father, and I'm grateful that you're understanding of it. I think this time apart is important for all of us, for the clarity it will bring. I pause. The words feel like a punch in the stomach, yet they are soft, wrapped in a polite veneer. Real father. Her words echo in my mind, as if the paper is vibrating with them. I can't seem to shake the feeling that this isn't just a simple update. It feels like something else, something more final than I was prepared for. I read the next line. Everything is fine here. I know this is difficult, but I believe it's what's best for everyone. I'll keep you updated as time goes on, but I feel this time apart will help us all find our way. I lower the letter, my fingers trembling slightly. I stare at the paper, unsure of what to do next. The ink on the page seems to blur as my eyes refocus, and I realize my breath is shallow. Yeah, she's writing this like it's normal, like it's the letter of reassurance, like it's just a letter of reassurance, but somehow it feels like the finality of it is hiding between the lines. The words "I believe it's what's best for everyone" seem to cut through me, sharp and deliberate. She's found peace in this. She's found the answer she was searching for, and it doesn't have anything to do with me. I place the letter down on the table in front of me, but it doesn't feel like a physical object anymore. It feels like a symbol of something I can't grasp, something I've been holding on to for too long. I stand up, walking across the kitchen, my fingers brushing against the cold surface of the counter. I feel a heaviness in my chest, something I don't know how to describe. The house feels empty again, even though it's still full of things, full of remnants. The chair by the table creaks as I sit down, but I don't know how long I've been standing. Time seems to stretch between the words, between the silence. I pick up the letter again, running my thumb across the paper. I feel the contours of her handwriting, the care she took in writing this. It's a message, a map of where she's gone, but it's not meant for me. I wonder how much of a shadow I've become in her life. When did I fade into the background? Was I always in the way of her search for something else? The silence grows around me, thicker, until it feels like the air itself is suffocating. I look at the words again, I read them over and over, but the weight of them doesn't change. She's left, and she's not coming back, not in the way I hoped, anyway. She needs this time with her real father. The words hit harder now. I've been trying to understand what they mean, but maybe I already know. Maybe I've been pretending not to. And I set the letter down again, not knowing how to move forward. The house is still, but inside, everything feels like it's moving in a way I can't control. I don't know how to breathe in this silence anymore. My fingers grip the edge of the table. The old wood feels rough against my skin, grounding me in the moment. But the moment is slipping away from me, just like everything else. Okay, I stare at the letter one more time, watching the light from the window dance across the ink. It's funny how light can make something so final feel so temporary. The words are just ink on paper. The house is still just a house, but in this moment everything feels like it's breaking. I wonder if she'll ever know how this feels. If she'll ever understand what it's like to be on the other side of these words. To hold them in your hands and wonder when it all went wrong. The sun begins to dip lower outside, casting a long shadow across the floor. The room seems darker. Now, the light from the window grows softer, but it's not enough to change the weight in my chest. I look at the letter once more. I let the words sit with me, trying to understand them, but I can't. Not yet, not until I'm ready. I stand up and fold the letter carefully, tucking it into the drawer where it won't be seen again. The drawer clicks shut with a finality that echoes in my chest. The house remains still, the quiet stretching on. But something has shifted. It's no longer just has shifted. It's no longer just silence I'm feeling. It's the weight of knowing that this space, this life we built, isn't mine anymore. And somewhere deep inside, I wonder if I'll ever find my way back from this. The doorbell rings. A small, sharp sound that cuts through the stillness like a knife. For a moment, I just sit there waiting for the echo to fade. The quiet has settled too deep into the house. It's become part of the walls, part of the floorboards, and now this interruption feels out of place. I stand slowly, as if I'm not sure whether to move or stay. The air feels thick, like it's holding its breath. I walk to the door, my fingers brushing lightly against the cold handle. It feels strange, as though the house itself has forgotten how to welcome them. I open the door, and there they are. UK. She stands in front of me, our daughter beside her, both of them bathed in the afternoon sunlight that slants through the doorway. They look like a picture, like something from the past, but there's something else, something that doesn't fit. Shackle gan stanchion ka. She smiles, a soft curve of her lips, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Her eyes are cold, almost too calm. I try to see the woman I knew, the one who used to look at me with warmth, but she's not there. Instead, there's a distance in her gaze, a space between us that wasn't there before. Our daughter looks up at me, her eyes wide with excitement, but it doesn't reach her face. There's something off in the way she's holding herself, as though she's waiting for something. Her smile doesn't hold the same joy it used to, just a faint hint of something I can't place. I crouch down to greet her, reaching for her tiny hand, but the moment feels distant. She doesn't run to me like she used to, like she's unsure. It's like I'm a stranger now. The space between us has grown. I stand up, looking at both of them. She shifts slightly, as if adjusting to the weight of the silence that hangs in the doorway. The warmth of the sun spills over them, but it feels cold, like something I can't touch. I feel it in my chest, this hollow place where everything used to fit. You're back, I say, my voice sounding foreign in the quiet. I don't know what else to say. Again, her smile falters for just a second. It's quick, but I see it. I always used to be able to read her so well, but now it's like I'm looking through glass. I don't know her anymore, not in the way I did. I hope the trip was good, I add, though the words taste strange on my tongue. She nods, but the motion doesn't feel genuine. Her lips press together in that way she always did when she was hiding something. I wonder what happened while they were gone. What happened to her? What happened to me? It was good, she says, the words slow, measured. Our daughter had a great time. Nine tine non non da na. No, it was just what we needed. I don't ask what we means anymore. I don't ask what we means anymore. I don't ask because I know I won't get an answer. Instead, I look at her closely, noticing the way her posture has shifted. She's standing straighter, more rigid, as though there's a barrier between us now. I glance down at our daughter again. She's holding her backpack tightly, clutching it like a shield. Her eyes flicker over to me, but there's something missing. That spark of excitement, the one that used to light up her face when she saw me, isn't there. I reach out again, this time gently brushing her hair back from her face. She doesn't pull away, but she doesn't lean in either. The air between us feels too wide. The warmth that used to exist between us now feels like a distant memory, slipping away, drifting out of reach. I clear my throat, trying to steady my thoughts, but they're too scattered, too lost in the cold space that's suddenly between us. We should go inside, I say, my voice quieter now. There's nothing else to say, we both know it. I step aside, letting them pass, and I follow them into the house, watching their every movement but feeling disconnected. The door closes behind me, and the sound seems to reverberate in the stillness. The house feels smaller now, more claustrophobic. The walls feel too close. I wonder if they feel it too, this weight, this suffocating sense of change that's hung in the air since she left. And we sit down at the table. Our daughter quietly picks at the edges of her bag, the fabric rustling softly in the silence. Her movements are slow, deliberate, like she's trying to avoid making any noise at all. I don't know where to start, how to bridge the gap between the past and the present, how to find my place in this new version of our life. I glance at her again, the woman who used to be mine, but the woman in front of me is different. The coldness in her eyes has turned into something that I can't name. Something that's pushing me away, keeping me at arm's length. How's everything been? I ask, though the words feel hollow. She doesn't look at me when she responds. She just picks at her nails, her eyes downcast. It's been fine, she says, her voice distant. Everything is fine. I think we just needed some time apart. For clarity, the words hit harder than I expected. They're not angry words, not harsh. They're not angry words, but they're final, and that's the part that cuts through me. I sit there trying to understand, trying to hold on to something solid, but the ground keeps shifting beneath me. I glance at our daughter again, her eyes not quite meeting mine. What happened while they were gone? I watch her, the girl who used to run to me without hesitation, and I wonder if I'll ever be able to reach her again. I wonder if I'll ever get back the version of her I lost when they walked out that door. The table between us feels like an ocean, wide and vast. I sit back, letting the silence settle around us. The sun is slipping lower outside, casting long shadows across the floor. The moment feels fragile, like it could break at any second, but it doesn't. It just hangs there suspended. And I wonder, as the evening stretches on, if I'll ever know the woman who walked away. Or has she already found someone else? The floorboards creak under my weight as I step into the kitchen. It's early morning, the light outside still soft, the kind of quiet light that makes the house feel like it's holding its breath. The smell of coffee drifts through the air, faint but comforting. I don't move right away. I just stand there, letting the silence fill the space around me the same way it's been for weeks now. Her back is to me as she stirs something on the stove. I watch her, this woman who was once so familiar to me, and I can't quite place her anymore. And she doesn't look up when I step in. Her movements are smooth, measured, almost as if she's following a routine that doesn't have me in it. I clear my throat quietly, hoping she'll glance over, but she doesn't. The sound of the spoon scraping against the pan is the only noise between us. Gain. I sit at the table, pulling the chair out slowly, the legs scraping against the floor. I don't know why, but it feels louder today. I watch the way she moves, the way she breathes, and I realize it's like she's trying to keep everything in line, every gesture and step, as though she's afraid of something slipping out of place. The coffee pot gurgles in the corner, and I wonder, not for the first time, when she'll look at me again, when she'll really see me. She sets a cup of coffee in front of me, her hand lingering on the handle for just a moment before she pulls it away. It's as if she's afraid of touching me, of being too close. I wrap my hands around the warm mug, feeling the heat seep into my skin, but the warmth doesn't reach my chest. She sits down across from me, her eyes on the table. I notice the way she shifts in her chair, her fingers resting lightly on the edge of her cup, her nails perfectly manicured, but her movements distant, calculated. Kang, did you sleep well? Her voice is calm, but there's a tightness to it now, a little more careful than it used to be. Alakanen. Ukin. I pause before I answer, trying to find the right words, but they don't come. I finally say, my voice rough, still thick with sleep. I watch her nod, but the gesture doesn't feel like it used to. It feels distant. There is a moment of quiet between us, one that stretches just a little too long. The kind of silence that hangs in the air like an unspoken question, waiting for an answer that neither of us is ready to give. I take a sip of coffee, but it's not the taste I'm looking for. It doesn't wake me the way it used to. Instead, it just adds to the feeling that everything here is shifting, settling into something I don't recognize. She glances at me for a brief second, but it's not the same look. It's as if she's studying me, looking for something, weighing me in a way she never did before. I try to meet her gaze, but she looks away quickly, turning her focus back to the counter. The space between us feels heavier now, more palpable. There's a tension in the air that wasn't there before, the kind of tension you can't ignore, even when you try. I watch her for a moment, trying to piece together what's changed, what's different now. It's like I'm watching a version of her I don't recognize, a version that I can't quite reach. I wonder if she feels it too, the distance. The space where we used to be close, the small, unspoken things that have faded into silence. I think I'm going to run some errands today, she says, breaking the silence again. Her voice is casual, but it doesn't quite match the stillness in her eyes. I nod, unsure of what to say, unsure of how to fit into this new rhythm. I used to know what to say, how to respond, but now it feels like I'm grasping at something slipping through my fingers. Yeah, she stands, her chair scraping against the floor as she moves toward the door, and I watch her go. She doesn't look back. I wonder if she even realizes that she doesn't. And I sit there for a while, the coffee cooling in my hands, the sound of the clock ticking louder than it ever has. It's a strange thing, this silence. It's not empty, not in the way I thought it would be. It's full of things that weren't there before. I don't know how to fill the space anymore. I try to find my place in this house, but it feels like I'm not even sure where I fit. The routines we once shared have become foreign, like a language neither of us speaks anymore. The house feels too big for me now, too full of things I don't know how to touch. I stand, setting my coffee cup down, and walk into the living room. The sofa feels too wide, too empty, as I sit down, feeling the cushion press against me. The room is quiet, save for the faint hum of the refrigerator, the ticking of the clock, the distant sound of traffic outside. Again, I reach for the remote, but I don't know what to watch. Nothing feels right. Nothing feels like it used to. I wonder if I'm just a shadow now, fading in and out of her life, trying to hold on to something that's already gone. I thought I could keep the pieces of us together. I thought the routines would pull us back to each other, but it's not the same anymore. Again, I close my eyes, letting the weight of the silence press against me, but the weight isn't comforting. It's suffocating. I feel like I'm being swallowed by it, drowning in the space between us. What happened? The question is soft in my mind, but it's louder than anything else in this moment. What happened to the man she left? The man she used to know? When she comes back, I don't know what I'll find. I don't know if I'll find her again, or if the woman standing at the door will be someone I don't recognize. The door creaks as it opens again. I look up, my heart tightening in my chest. She's back. But this time she doesn't look at me. She doesn't smile. She just steps inside, her eyes briefly meeting mine before she walks past me. The door clicks shut behind her, and the silence grows heavier. I watch her walk across the room, but I can't seem to reach her anymore. The space between us is no longer just the distance in the room. It's something deeper, something that I can't close. I sit there, feeling the weight of it all, wondering if I'll ever find my way back to her. And I wonder, as she moves through the house, if she's even looking for me anymore. The light in the dining room is soft, flickering gently from the dim bulb overhead. It's the kind of evening light that should feel warm, comforting, but it doesn't. It feels distant, like everything in this house is just waiting for something to happen. I sit at the table, pushing the remnants of dinner aside. The plates are half full, the food cold now, untouched. She's clearing the table, her movements fluid but mechanical. She doesn't look at me as she stacks the plates, doesn't pause to meet my gaze. The clink of silverware against porcelain is the only sound filling the space between us. It's not the clattering I used to hear, the laughter, the little noises we shared over dinner. It's different now, it's quieter, I take a breath, the air in the room feels thick, almost too still. I can feel the question rising in me, pushing at the walls I've built up, wanting to get out. I clear my throat, my voice sounding foreign in the quiet. What really happened while you were away? She pauses, just for a second. The knife in her hand trembles ever so slightly, but she doesn't look up. The silence stretches, thick and heavy, until it feels like the walls themselves are listening, waiting for her to answer. Her shoulders move, but she doesn't say anything right away. The seconds tick by slowly, painfully, nothing. We had a good time. Her voice is even controlled, too controlled. I watch her as she moves the plates into the sink, her back to me. There's something missing in her words, something hollow. I wait, but she doesn't turn around. The room feels too quiet, too full of unsaid things. I can't breathe with all this silence pressing in on me. That's it? I ask, my voice softer now as if I'm afraid to say too much. She doesn't answer immediately. Instead, she scrubs the plates with slow, measured strokes. The sound of the sponge against the surface of the dish is the only thing filling the space now, rubber camweri so meh, but it doesn't make the silence any less thick. I try again, you're not telling me something. She exhales a soft breath, but it's not enough to break the tension. She stands still for a moment, her hands frozen in the water. The silence between us stretches again longer this time, almost suffocating. I see her hands move again, slow, deliberate. She's trying to fill the space, trying to bury whatever is hanging in the air between us. But I can feel it. I can feel the walls she's building. It was just time, she says, her voice distant. We needed it, all of us. I'm not sure if she's talking about herself or me or our daughter. It doesn't matter. Her words are empty, a veil she's hiding behind. I can't stand it anymore. The waiting, the not knowing. Ing. Hey. I stand up slowly, the chair scraping softly across the floor as I push it back. My fingers tighten around the edge of the table, and for a moment, I think I might break something. Yeah, I look at her, but she still doesn't look at me. What does that even mean? I ask, the words coming out sharper than I intended. She flinches, just for a moment, but she doesn't turn around. There's no anger in her eyes, no defensiveness, just that same quiet distance. It's not anger she's hiding. It's something else, something deeper. I don't know how to explain it, she says, her voice almost a whisper now. Yeah. I just need time. I need time to figure things out. Time for what? I ask, the question slipping out before I can stop it. She's silent for a long moment. The water runs in the sink, and I watch her hand, the way it trembles just a little as she rinses the plates. It's as if she's trying to hold something back, something she's afraid to show. When she finally speaks, her voice is so soft it almost gets lost in the sound of the running water. And time to find out what comes next. The words land between us, heavy and final. I feel them sink into me like stones. I don't know what to do with them, don't know how to respond. I just stand there watching her back, watching the way she's turning her life into something I can't touch. She doesn't look at me. She doesn't look at me once through the entire conversation. And I want to say something, anything, but nothing comes. I don't know how to ask the questions that are clawing at me. Has she already made up her mind? Has she already decided that whatever we had, whatever we were, is over? I feel the silence closing in around me, and for a moment it feels like I'm drowning in it. I swallow hard, trying to force the words out, but they stick in my throat. The air between us is too thick. It's like I'm trying to speak through glass, but nothing is reaching her. Nothing can reach her. I still matter, don't I? The question slips out, but it doesn't feel like a question. It feels like a plea, something I shouldn't be saying. I want to take it back as soon as it leaves my mouth. She doesn't answer. She doesn't even look at me. Instead, she turns off the water, the sound of it running suddenly cut off, leaving only the quiet behind. I need time, she says again, but this time there's no explanation, no reason, just the words hanging between us. And just like that, the moment is gone. The words are empty. The question that lingers in the air remains unanswered. I realize, as I stand there in the kitchen, that I've been holding my breath, waiting for her to tell me that I still matter. But I get nothing. I don't know who she is anymore. I don't know what she's holding back or why she can't bring herself to be honest with me. I don't know how much longer I can live in this silence. I turn away, my steps slow as I walk back toward the living room. The weight of the silence presses down on me, heavier than before. The house feels colder now, emptier, and the distance between us feels like it could swallow me whole. I sit down on the couch, the cushions sinking beneath me. The room is quiet, save for the soft ticking of the clock on the wall. And I wonder, as I sit there alone, if she's already made her decision, have I already been left behind? The mirror is cold against my fingertips, the glass smooth but indifferent. I stand in front of it, trying to make sense of the face staring back at me. The man in the mirror doesn't look like me, not anymore. Oh, his eyes are tired, sagging at the edges, ne king famble seven torn, deep lines carved into the skin like something that's been left too long in the sun. I haven't slept properly in days. It shows. It's the first thing I notice. And I run my hand over my face, feeling the roughness of stubble, the weight of a beard I haven't bothered to shave in days. I don't even remember the last time I looked at myself this closely. The reflection is a stranger, someone I don't recognize. I'm not the man she left behind. I know that much. That man, the one who used to smile with hope, the one who believed things would get better, it is gone now. Replaced by this, whatever this is. I wonder if she knew this would happen, if she knew I'd fade away like this. Or was I always going to slip into this version of myself like a slow pull of the tide? The more I look at this man in the mirror, the further he feels from who I used to be. And I try to recall the last time I felt seen, really seen, the last time someone looked at me like I was enough. But the memory slips away like water between my fingers. It was too long ago to hold on to, and now it feels like it's just beyond my reach. Cinca. I close my eyes for a moment, trying to remember, but all I hear is silence. Canned. The silence in the house is becoming unbearable. It's louder than the ticking of the clock on the wall, louder than the hum of the refrigerator. The emptiness presses against me, and I can't escape it. It's like the house is holding its breath, waiting for something to break. I open my eyes and stare at the man in the mirror again. His eyes are so tired. How did I let myself get here? I touch my face once more, but it feels foreign. I feel the weight of what's missing. The sense of losing something I couldn't protect, something I thought was invincible. Okay? I never thought I'd be this person, the one who stands in front of the mirror, questioning everything, wondering what happened to the life I thought I was building. The house behind me is quiet, almost too quiet. It's like everything has settled into this stillness, and I'm just a shadow walking through it. I'm not the man she left. I'm not sure I ever will be again. I stand there for a while, looking at myself, trying to make sense of the man in the mirror. But nothing comes. There's no clarity. There's only an overwhelming sense of something missing. What have I become? And I can't answer that. I'm not sure I know. All I have is this reflection, a man who feels as hollow as the space around him. I step back slowly, and the silence fills the room again, pressing in on me. The house is still like it's waiting for something to happen, but nothing does. I walk slowly into the living room, my steps echoing in the empty space. The couch sits untouched, the table still with the remnants of our last dinner. I pass by the window, glancing outside. The world outside seems so far away, so distant from this place. The street is empty, just like the house. I wonder if she's out there, somewhere, living the life she's chosen. I wonder if she's forgotten about me entirely. I wonder if she ever really saw me in the first place. I walk toward the couch, feeling the weight of every step, as though the distance between us is measured in more than just space. It's in the time we've lost, the pieces of us that slipped away without even realizing it. I sit down slowly, the cushions sinking beneath me, and I stare at the blank wall in front of me. The quiet presses in on all sides. What am I waiting for? I can feel the question tugging at me, but I can't answer it. I don't even know where to begin. The house feels like a cage now, and I'm locked inside it, trying to make sense of what's left. But I can't. I don't know how. I close my eyes, but I can't escape the feeling that everything around me is falling apart. The soft creak of the floorboards behind me pulls me out of my thoughts. I don't turn around right away. I can feel her presence, even before I hear her steps. It's a quiet, familiar feeling, one that I used to rely on. But now, it's different. I take a breath, my chest tightening. She walks into the room, but I don't look up. I don't want to see the look in her eyes. I can feel it there, though, something cold, something distant. I can almost hear the space between us growing, pulling further apart. She stops just behind the couch, but she doesn't sit down. Her shadow falls across the floor, stretching long and thin. She doesn't say anything at first. I wonder if she even knows what she's doing to me, to this house. I can't look at her. Not yet. I'm afraid of what I'll see if I do. I'm sorry, she says, her voice so quiet I almost don't hear it. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know if I even want to. She doesn't sit down. She just stands there waiting for me to say something. But I don't know what to say. What do I say? I finally turn slowly to look at her. And in that moment, I realize something. She doesn't look at me the way she used to. There's no softness, no warmth in her gaze. She does softness in her gaze. There's a coldness in her eyes, a distance I can't cross. I don't know who she is anymore. I don't know if I'll ever be able to reach her again. I stand up from the couch, my legs unsteady beneath me. The air between us feels thick, suffocating. I take a step forward, but it doesn't bring me closer to her. I walk past her, the silence stretching between us, and I step out into the hallway. And for the first time in a long while, I feel the weight of my own reflection in the walls around me. The evening settles in like a thick blanket. The sun dips low, casting long shadows across the floor. The soft hum of the refrigerator is the only sound filling the room, a quiet rhythm that has become my constant companion. I sit at the kitchen table, a cup of tea in front of me, untouched. I've been staring at it for what feels like hours, but the steam has long since vanished. The air is cool now, a soft breeze brushing against the window, carrying with it the faint scent of the outside world. But I don't feel connected to it. I look around the room, the house is still, but it doesn't feel like it used to. It's different now. The walls seem to press in on me, as though they've grown smaller in her absence. There's no laughter here, no soft murmur of a conversation, just the quiet ticking of the clock on the wall. I lean back in the chair, the wood creaking under me. The stillness settles deeper in the room, wrapping itself around me like a heavy coat. I take a deep breath, trying to make sense of it all, but the question lingers unanswered. What have I become? I remember the man I was. The man who believed in a future, in a life shared between two people, in the hope that everything would work itself out. I remember the man who walked through this house with confidence, with the idea that we were building something together. But now I'm not so sure. It hits me then, the realization that I've changed. I can feel it deep in my bones, in the way my body holds itself. But it's not just her that's different. It's me too. In the space she left behind, I built something. I built a life that doesn't rely on her to complete it. It wasn't something I planned, it just happened. Slowly, quietly, I didn't wait for her anymore. I didn't wait for her to come back and fill the empty spaces. I filled them myself, not with anything loud or obvious. No, this change is subtle. It's in the way I've started to take care of myself, to look at my own needs, to stop assuming she would be there to pick up the pieces. I don't know when it started. Maybe it was after the silence got too loud. Maybe it was after I stopped hoping for a call, stopped waiting for her to walk through that door and fix everything. But something in me shifted, and I don't know how to find it again. I don't know if I want to. I glance over at her chair. It's empty, the same chair she used to sit in, day after day. Doesn't look out of place, not really. But it feels wrong now, like it's been waiting for something that isn't coming. The faint sound of footsteps reaches me from the hallway, the soft shuffle of her slippers on the floor. She's coming back from somewhere. I don't know where. She doesn't tell me where she's been. She steps into the kitchen, her presence familiar but distant. She doesn't look at me right away. I can feel the space between us grow as she moves around the room, her movements slow and deliberate. It's almost as if she's afraid to move too fast, afraid to disturb the quiet that's become our new rhythm. She opens the cupboard, pulls out a glass, and fills it with water. I watch her, noticing the way she holds the glass, the way she stands, so composed, so controlled. The woman who used to lean into me, the one who would rest her head on my shoulder after a long day, is gone. In her place is someone who watches me from the corner of her eye, as though I'm a stranger. I built this life, I realize again, I built it without her. There's a discomfort in the thought, a sense of something slipping away. I built it because I had to, because I couldn't wait for someone who wasn't coming back the way I expected. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. She places the glass down gently, and for a moment I think she might speak, but she doesn't. She just stands there, the silence between us thickening. Her eyes flicker to me, but only for a second, and then they fall away again. She doesn't look at me the way she used to. She's not seeing me, not really. I don't know when she stopped looking at me with warmth. I don't know when she started looking at me like I was something to be studied, something to be measured, but it's there. It's in the way she glances at me when she thinks I'm not watching, as though she's trying to decide if I'm worth the effort. The question lingers, though I don't speak it aloud. Am I still the man she wants? Cacked. Her fingers trace the edge of the counter, the motion slow and deliberate. Her gaze drifts toward the window, away from me, and I feel the weight of her silence pressing down on me. I stand up slowly, the chair scraping across the floor as I do. She doesn't look at me. She doesn't even flinch. I don't know what I'm waiting for anymore. Maybe a sign. Maybe a gesture that says everything's going to be okay. Maybe the part of me that still believes in something between us is waiting for her to say the words. But I know she won't. She's waiting for something else. I take a few steps toward her, the distance between us growing smaller, but it feels just as far as it ever did. What are we doing? I don't ask her. I don't know if I can ask her anymore. I built a life without waiting for her. The thought hits me again, but this time it feels different. This time, I don't feel regret. I feel something else, something sharp and heavy, but also freeing. The silence is overwhelming now, and I feel the space between us closing, but I'm not sure if it's in a way that can bring us back together. I stand there, just a few feet away from her, and I realize something. She doesn't see me anymore. Not the way she used to, and maybe I don't see her either. I take a deep breath and walk toward the door, the quiet hum of the house following me. I don't look back. The space between us remains. But as I step out, I wonder if maybe it's better this way. Maybe this is the life we're meant to live now. The house is quiet again. Too quiet, maybe. The kind of silence that fills every corner, as though even the walls are holding their breath. I stand in the doorway of the living room, the soft light from the window stretching across the floor, casting long shadows. It's late afternoon, but the room feels heavier than it should, the weight of time pressing down, leaving everything still. I can feel the weight in my chest as I watch the fading sunlight. It's been like this for a while now, these quiet moments where the world outside seems to move, and I'm stuck here motionless, The clock on the wall ticks away in the background, but it's not the time that's moving, it's the feeling in my gut. The one that's been growing for days, maybe weeks, but I never wanted to name it. The decision, that word has been hanging over me for longer than I care to admit. I've been playing this game, pretending to be the man I once was, hoping she would return to me, that everything would go back to the way it was. I kept waiting, kept telling myself that maybe, just maybe, she'd see the man I still wanted to be, the man I thought I could be, but I see it now. I see it more clearly than I ever did before. Pieper neer en Nederhausen shoes skake sheb, Biver she sepper and tist bauer ins for. She's already moved on. She's not waiting for me to change. She's not waiting for me at all. Kang. I walk across the room, the wooden floor creaking beneath me as I go. The smell of dinner lingers in the air, but the kitchen is empty now, quiet, just like everything else. I run my fingers along the edge of the counter. It's smooth under my hand, but nothing feels the same. Everything has shifted. The house feels like a museum of the life we once had, filled with relics of who we were. And I don't know if I can keep pretending that everything is fine. The questions have been there for a while, but I never wanted to answer them. They sat quietly, waiting for me to face them. Now, I can't ignore them anymore. I think of her. The way she used to look at me, the way she would reach out for me. And I think about what she said the last time we were in this house together, how her words were careful, measured. She said she needed time, she said she needed space, but I wonder if she ever really came back. Kang. I sit at the kitchen table, letting my hands rest on the edge of it, the smooth wood cold beneath my... I feel the weight of my own thoughts pressing against me. How long can I keep doing this? How long can I keep pretending that things will change? The clock ticks on, and for the first time in a long while, I let myself hear it. The realization hits me slowly like a wave that pulls back just before it crashes. It's not about forgiveness anymore. It's not about proving myself or fixing things. I've tried to hold on, tried to wait for something that's already gone. It's about choosing to walk away before she makes the choice for me. I look at the window, the sky now dimming as the sun sinks lower, and I feel something shift within me. It's a feeling I can't ignore, one that's been there, lurking, but I didn't want to see it. Can I let go? Can I walk away before she does? Can I choose my own path even when it feels like she's already chosen hers? The air in the room feels heavy now, thick with the things I haven't said, the things I haven't allowed myself to feel. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of something I'd been avoiding, something that could change everything. I stand up slowly, the floor creaking beneath me again. I walk to the window, my fingers brushing against the sill as I look outside. The street is quiet, the evening sky streaked with pink and gold. It feels distant, almost as if I'm watching someone else's life unfold, someone else's world. I take a deep breath, the cool air filling my lungs, but it doesn't feel enough. Nothing feels enough. Kai exception nos of pragus. I turn back to the room, looking around. The weight of the decision still sits heavy in my chest, but I know I can't keep carrying it around. I reach for my jacket, draping it over my shoulders. The house feels empty now, the air too still, like it's waiting for something to break the silence. I wonder if this is the last time I'll stand in this room. I wonder if I'll ever come back here, if I'll ever find my way back to this version of myself. I walk toward the door, my footsteps slow, deliberate, as though I'm afraid to cross the threshold. But I don't stop. I don't hesitate. I open the door, the cool evening air greeting me as I step outside. The street is quiet, the world still, and for the first time in a long time, I don't feel like I'm waiting anymore. I walk down the driveway, the gravel crunching beneath my shoes. The house fades behind me, its silhouette dark against the fading light, and I feel the weight of it lifting just a little. The silence is no longer suffocating, it's freeing. I don't know what comes next, but for the first time in a long while, I feel like I'm moving forward. And maybe that's enough. The door clicks shut behind me, the sound soft but final. I stand on the porch for a moment, the cool evening air pressing against my skin. The world around me is still quiet. The house, my house, sits behind me, silent, waiting for something I won't give it. I don't look back. I don't have to. The gravel crunches under my shoes as I step down the path. Each footfall feels deliberate, measured. It's a strange thing, walking away from something that's been your whole world. But it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like loss. It feels like release. The air is crisp, the night just beginning to fall. I can hear the rustle of leaves in the trees, the soft murmur of distant traffic, but none of it feels close to me. None of it feels close to me. It feels far away, like I'm walking into a space that doesn't have any edges, any boundaries. I walk not knowing exactly where I'm headed. The familiar streets stretch out in front of me, but they don't feel familiar anymore. They feel like a different world, one I don't have to belong to. It's a strange freedom, the kind you never thought you'd want, but when it finally comes, it's like breathing again for the first time in years. I don't know where this path leads, but it doesn't matter. It's mine now, my steps are mine, and for the first time in a long while, I don't have to explain them to anyone.